Hello Flosstube. Today is Friday the 21st of March and this is Flosstube number 11. Welcome back and thank you to all my subscribers, those who've been with me from the very beginning, and my new subscribers that have joined since the last Flosstube when I hit 10,000 subscribers. So thanks so much for coming back and joining me. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I'm sort of a week late, but I don't know what's happened to the time. Well, I've been away for a long time. I went on holiday and actually I had no idea we were going for that long, but I was away from the 1st to the 18th of March because 2 whole days are traveling to go out that far. But it was wonderful. It was a really nice break. And although, would you believe, I think I did get COVID, probably on the flight going out. So after 3 or 4 days, I just felt really poorly. I did manage to stitch. I did a lot more stitching than I thought I would there, but unfortunately I haven't got any finished things to show you today in terms of cross stitch other than my scarf, which I'm wearing here. It's not a scarf, it's a shawl, isn't it? My tiny tassel shawl that I bought from Loop in London as a kit, and they've still got these online in a variety of colours. And I did remember last time I'd finished the knitting, holes and all, because it is quite holy. But yeah, I think I need to practice yarn over a bit better. I mean, they're not holes that are going to run. It's just obviously I did a different way each time. But it took me a day or so to make these tiny tassels out of the contrasting ginger wool, and I absolutely love it. And actually it's perfect for today because spring has arrived, so it's really warm in the house here because I'm in the conservatory in my old office. And, you know, the sun's been shining. It's been so lovely to come home to this positive kind of spring in Wales feeling. So, yeah, I hope you've all been well. As I say, I've had a wonderful March. I feel much healthier coming back for having so much sunshine. And I've been very busy. I'm still in my Mother of the Bride era. I've been out with Harriet looking at a few venues. Before I went away, we went to a few places in sort of like Hereford and Abergavenny way, which is in Wales, looking at some possible places for her to get married in 2026. So that's been super exciting. I'll put some pictures in right at the end of Ganny Bay, where I went in Antigua. It's our favourite place, and Phil's still working and always likes to have his birthday out there if possible, and hopefully we'll be going back again maybe in November. I'm not sure, my calendar's looking so busy already, so I'm not sure, but I'll put a picture of me and Harriet on the morning before we went wedding venue hunting. We popped to the Ivy in town. I never go to the Ivy, and it's only like a mile up the road in Cardiff. And we had a lovely brunch breakfast with the Bucks Fairs. I think in America you call them mimosas, don't you? I tell you, in Ganny Bay, I was having a grapefruit mimosa at 10 o'clock every morning. Isn't that bad? So now I'm back on it, being more disciplined. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So I don't have any finishes to show you, which is why I thought I'd wear my scarf so you can see. I have still been busy. So we'll start on with the with my whips, my cross stitch whips, and I've got a lot to show you. So first of all, my favorite girl, the one I always start with, in my fabulous Stitch Folk bag by Barry Hamby. This is Lottie. This is the chart that was in the, it was an exclusive in the Homespun Needlework group on Facebook. They have a number of exclusive charts, and this was Charlotte Warrington 1838 that I ordered through Colorado Cross Stitcher in the US, Sherry, who has a brilliant Flosstube. And this chart couldn't be more fantastic to stitch on. So you can see she's a big girl. And I was kind of, well, I stitched on this so much. Here's Sherry's little card that she always sends out with her things. So that's Colorado Cross Stitch there with the Homespun Needlework group. And the threads are all here. We were given the little fob to go on the front there with the red house and all these fabulous bright Weeks Dye Works flosses Really beautiful. And I'm already on my second red. So let me show you, I've got my board here, how she's doing. I've reached a major milestone because I worked so hard on this before I went away that I finished that house. Look at it. I'm super, super proud of that. Now, last time I think I had 2 doors in, and I had 2 windows upstairs and this one. And now I've come all the way across here, finished all the turrets. So the house is complete. And when I had a look at the breakdown for the stitch along on the number of pages, I don't work like that. I don't go page by page. So I'm not very good with homework for stitch alongs, but I've worked out, I reckon I'm about 1/3 of the way complete now. So Lottie's really coming together, and I think now I'm going to fill in here, keep working the green across. Yeah, and then there's a load of little white sheep over on this side. So it's going to be massive. I'm filming really late in the day because would you believe we had a load of guys out the garden this afternoon fixing all the lighting. It keeps blowing. I think there's water in the system. So they've replaced all the boxes and all the downlights in the borders. And it took them all day because I was planning to, I did all this ironing this morning. So I was ready by lunchtime to do a video. But of course, they were like in my eye line. I knew I would have been distracted, and they've tapped the door about 5 times. So there we are. I couldn't be more delighted. I think the red is Red Rocks by Weeks. So I'm pretty sure that I'm on my second skein of that already now. Yeah, so that's Charlotte. And I can't wait now to get back to her. Now I'm finishing my Flosstube today. I'll be back on it. Now my next one, as you know, I always like to get a few stitches in on this one, which is in my lovely Holt project bag that I made from the panels. And I did a little bit of cross-hatch quilting on the back and lined it with the wide back left from my Happy Place quilt. I think it's called Songbird. Love Lorry fabrics. And this, of course, is my Welsh Girl by Hands Across the Sea, Jane Bannister, 1855. Yeah, so she's from Anglesey, and she's got a lot of the motifs, you know, that are typical of that part of Wales. But look at this border. And you know, the weird thing is I haven't done any of the motifs in here yet, but I'm still not bored because the border is just, it's just one of the most beautiful borders on any of my whips. And so I'm quite happy to keep going. This one, I made the little fob, and these are the gorgeous Shawl silks that Phil got me one Christmas or birthday about, I think it must have been 2 or 3 years ago. And I've been dying to start it. And I've got to say, I really like using these Shawl silks. They're puffy and they are perfect for this linen, which is an unnamed 37 count tabby cat linen. And now it's quite big. She's going to be quite a big girl. So this is, I'll zoom in now, but this is how much I've done. So I carried on going up here and actually turned the corner. I mean, honestly, it doesn't sound much, but I promise you there is a huge amount of stitching in this. Let me show you. So there's so many colour changes, but look at the linen. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? I'm drawn to the greyish linens, I have to say. I would use Confederate grey by Weeks for a lot, and Tin Roof I absolutely love. I just love this colour. It's a bit more of a sort of grey brown. And the colours look crazy when you pull them out. Some of them like the curry yellows, and the really bright olivey yellow greens. But with the muted pink silks, they just sit so nicely together. And there's lots of duck egg blues in there, and these really, really pale, like lettucey greens. Really pretty. I just love this. If I didn't have a Flosstube, I could sit with this now and start to, you know, finish it. I'm slightly nervous about starting on the motifs because they're huge little pastoral scenes, and I think it just looks like full coverage. So I've never really done full coverage with silks, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm fine with Lottie. That house is full coverage, and that's going really well. So that's that one. My next project I worked on before I went away is another big girl in my beautiful bag with one of my little wool strawberries from Nancy at 5 Times Blessed that we bought at Sampler Symposium in a little pop-up shop. This is the Stitch Folk bag, one of the Stitch Folk bags by Barry. I'm in the quarterly club now, so I'll be getting a few more this year. This is on 40 count Weeks Dye Works Cocoa, and this chart is by Manny Di Donna called Eunice Tancarel. I absolutely love this project. This is one I would definitely frame and put on the wall. I think it's stunning. It's similar, I suppose, in that there's lots of little pastoral scenes that I just love. And I had to buy this the minute I saw Reese, who's got a Flosstube, start this a couple of years ago now. And I just loved it. So I just shamelessly copied her and went straight out and bought it. This is my little fob here from my friend Sharon Chris Silver, who I went on the cartonnage box covering with fabric course, you know, with the stitchery, and she kindly gifted me that when she gave me a box that she made for me. This just uses DMCs, but they're beautiful. Lots and lots of colours in here, but the roses are the palest pink. So let me show you that. This is where I've got to. So I'm sort of, I started in the corner and I thought the colours were going to match. So I went across and up at the same time. But now I'm pretty much at the top, I think, of the border going up. Of course, it is a lot wider than it's tall, so that's not that impressive. But I just love how this linen looks. It's quite dark. It's very similar to Mason Button Box, or is it Haberdashery? I always get them muddled up. I think it's Button Box, medium dark. This linen's similar, and this was kindly gifted to me by my friend Roberta, the Sable Stitcher, and I think she got that from Holly's Hands Creates and brought it over for me when I was struggling to track this down. So yeah, these pale pink roses I just think look incredible. I mean, they're only DMC, but you wouldn't dream it, would you? And I shouldn't say only DMC. All my embroidery is with DMC. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's French, isn't it, at the end of the day? And yes, so many greens, so many colour changes, but oh, I just love to spend a day or two every month on that. So she's coming on very, very slowly. I think it'll be something like a 10-year project, but I love that. So that was another whip I had good progress on before I left. Then I worked on this project in my gorgeous portfolio by Rika from House of Stitch and Stash. Isn't that stunning? So nice, with so many of the little pockets inside. I'll show you. It's got this sort of thread bed here, which is really soft and fleecy. And I've got a few projects in here, but the one I keep in one of the zipper pockets is this one that we had gifted to us by one of the speakers at Sampler Symposium at the Attic in January. And this is Jeanette Douglas, and it's the only project I've got by Jeanette. I fancy I did something of Jeanette's when I was probably in my 20s. I'm pretty sure I did do a pillow, a cushion in silks and wools, all in the same colour, but with 3 different texture threads, if you like. So yeah, it was a silk, a wool, and like a pearly cotton. And yeah, it's only very recently I threw it out. It got rust spots all over it, and I couldn't wash it out or treat it. So this was a sampler roll that we got the the reel, you know, the bobbin to wind it round, and the ribbon and everything at the end. So we were provided this and the entire silk pack to go with it. So So let me just show you. Now, these silks are not as easy to use as a Veriswat. These are MPIs, which are Chinese silk, aren't they? And the ones here are great because you can just pull those. But the ones where you get a full skein, all these are, you can't just pull them. It started to rain. You can't just pull them from one end like a Veriswat. There isn't a little knot to undo and a good end. You have to sort of undo the whole thing and unwind it. Well, at least that's what I found. I did ask Nicola if there was a trick or if there's something I was doing wrong, Nicola Partman, and she didn't know of a technique to use MPIs like a Veriswat. So I don't know, but the colours are absolutely gorgeous. Can you see they're all sort of rusty, and a lot of them are like sort of cinnamon colours. Anyway, I'll show you. I did 2 squares before, didn't I, last month? And so, and I did it wrong, didn't I? Because this was square 1 and 2, and then it was 3 and 4. But you were supposed to work in sets of 4 from the left to the right. And I was doing it from like the top of the spool to the bottom. So I've messed it up. But I don't think it matters because these 4, it wouldn't really matter what order they go in. And to be honest, it was only looking at the next 2 blocks because 1 and 2 are hidden. This is 3 and 4. And it's only looking at 5 and 6 for next month off the picture that I realised I've been doing it long ways instead of Jeanette's done it sort of sideways from left to right. I should have read it more carefully. So yeah, I don't think it matters. And this is what it looks like. So I won't roll, it's really long. This is on a piece of flax. I can't remember the count, but it's just, so I got flax. Is it? It might be 40, it might be 36, I can't remember. But these are all the specialty stitches, and hopefully you can see a bit of shine of the silk there. So yeah, 1 and 2 are here. And so I did those at the top, and 3 and 4 underneath, sort of working long ways down. But of course, it should have been 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then moving from the left to the right. So anyway, I'll work it out and catch it up. But those original 4 are all over the place. They're muddled up. But I think I've got my head around it now. I tell you, we did have a whole lecture on it, and I thought I'd listened. But of course, when you come home, you know, you forget things, don't you? And it was such a long time ago now, trying to remember the detail of what Jeanette said. And we did have a laugh as well. She was so entertaining and funny. Right, see how quick I'm being now? Yeah, 18 minutes and we're well into it. Right, my next project in my stunning Stitch Folk bag here. What's this one? You Have the Loveliest Stitching. Oh, look at the bag. I just love everything Barry does. It's always lined with lovely things like blackbird fabric. And the back. So pretty. Always loose threads, sorry, everywhere. And this is the one chart. Well, I got two red girls in here, actually. This one, I've never started. I don't know. Every time I want to, someone else is working on it. And sometimes you're just not in the mood if you're so far behind everyone, you know? So I thought, no, this one was on display in the attic. And, oh, God, the sampler was actually on display, and all these charts in a basket underneath with a lot of other red samplers, including Louisa, who's stunning. I will do her one day. So this is by Cozy Egg. This is 15 Friends. There's just something very special about this. And the girl that stitched it was Jane Ann in 1871. And of course, they've all got their numbers. So I started with Jane, right in the middle, Jane Ann with her number 461. That was probably her bed or peg number, not her admission number. And no, that's Louisa's silks. The silks for this I keep in my little Mary Choke zipper bag that I had in the Wow box, the Words of Wisdom box from Hats. I think it was to celebrate one of Nicola's, no, it wasn't her birthday, was it? It was just the second box this was. I missed the first one. And actually, can't keep having all the boxes, so this was just a treat. Now, this one I kitted up at the attic with, and apparently a lady tried to get this and failed to track it down. I think it's a new colour. So it will be available, I'm sure, in the UK soon, or easier anyway to get, because this was number 305. Is that? Yeah, it's better. 305. And I wanted to pick this sort of pinky, it's like a rose gold, isn't it? Pinky colour, because I wanted it to look like the chart, and it looks like a rusty brown. And my friend Sandy, that I met at Sampler Symposium and drove us to Vicky Jeanette's needlework press workshop, she's Whispered Stitches on Instagram. She picked a colour very similar to this, a sort of pinky brown, and I fell in love with it. What I'd love to do is get into the discipline of having like one thread a day. I struggle with that because once I start something, I just love to keep going, and I find it hard to do one thread and put it back in the bag. So I did about a week's worth of one threads a day on this. But then, of course, I didn't take it on holiday because it's quite light, and I was afraid it would get marked, you know, with on this paler linen. This is on 46 count needle and flax Thornfield. So it's probably a lighter colour for me than most of my other projects I've shown you so far. But I just love it. It's very cream, but with a huge amount of sort of mottling. And I just love it. And apparently Thornfield, it's not about a thorn field. It's, what is it? It's Jane Eyre's Mr. Rochester, isn't it? Her, did they eventually get married? I think they did, didn't they? Or anyway, they fell in love. And Thornfield was his house, named because of the thorn bushes in the garden. So yeah, so that's why I'm drawn to this fabric probably. I just love it. So it's slowly, again, this is going to be probably a 20-year project, but I just love this. And using this silk, the 103s by a Versoir, just works on 46 count fabulously because it's so thin. It makes it easy. It's just like using an overdyed on 40 count. It's no different at all. So it's harder to see the holes, but easier to sort of sew in, and look how neat it looks. So this was very pretty. Yeah, so that's that one. I've made a good bit of progress on that, and I'd like to, as long as I'm home and, you know, not on a sort of beach holiday or something, I'd love to do a thread a day on that in the morning and try and get into it. What I found is that I tend to do my a thread or two in my embroidery first thing when the light's good. And so when I finish my embroidery piece for the month, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll move on to my red stitch after that. So the next one, and this is the one that I did straight after the last Flosstube for 2 days. This is my winter stitches in my Joy to the World bag that came in my winter box from Barry with all those lovely little extras. And it's got my Nancy 5 times blessed, Oh My Stars. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? I love her things so much. Such a lot of fun. And she's coming over to London with her friend. Now, I can't remember the event that they're going to, but I'm hoping to go to Britta's. You know my friend, Britta. I'd never met her in person before we flew out to Sampler Symposium together. And she's an amazing stitcher. She does lots of gold work and really exquisite little Mary Cox pieces. And of course, she's done the silk shading of Katie Strachan's, you know, the pillows. She's bought her kits and stitched with all the gold work and the silks. She's really, really a brilliant needleworker. But anyway, I'm going to go to Britta's and we're going to meet Nancy. I think they're booking in a pub in Odium, not too far from where Britta lives. And we're going to meet up and just have maybe an overnighter and a 2-day stitching event. So that'd be fun, just us in the local pub or at Britta's, whatever. And we thought we might go to the Jane Austen house, which isn't that far from Britta as well. Bless her, she's always taking people to Jane Austen's. So this is, of course, my Plum Street Winter Moon that I absolutely love because of the colours. Because the colours are just stunning. And they're really bright. They're really pink. It's a mixture. Let me show you. I showed you last time, didn't I? Some of the gorgeous colours. So it's got this lovely, lovely pink cherub. I've got my little fob here that I had in my advent box from Kit and Stitcher with some wintry, it's got a snowflake and everything. I think it was from Lady Dot Creates. And it's got these fabulous pinks. Look, rose petal, which is a proper pink, and then this really peachy sort of brick sweet potato, which is quite bright. Love it. And then the one I was working on actually is a DMC colour. Excuse this, because it's I've taken it out of the little plastic bag. And so 3772, the most fabulous rusty pink, a little bit like the silk I'm using on 15 Friends. Very similar vibe actually in the colours, and I made a lot of progress on this. So last time I had done sort of to here, and so since I've seen you last, I filled in all the pinks on the chimneys. Look how fabulous the colours look. So the dark rusty one is the DMC I'm talking about, and then the bright pinks filling in. So yeah, at the moment I'm just working with that DMC. That's how I kind of do it. I do it colour by colour till the thread runs out. And so I put in the Weeks mascara to top the chimneys, and then I filled in all the brickwork underneath and the windows, filled in the door, and started to fill in some of the bricks. So I'd love to carry on, but I feel spring is calling to me now, and with all the new market releases that have just arrived, I'll share with you later, this might have to go away. So yeah, she's an absolute beauty, and it's not that big. This is on one of my most favourite linens. Again, it's got a grey hint to the background. It's Fox and Rabbit, 40 count, not hog bristle, the other one, saltbush. So I always think hog bristle is sort of like a mustardy yellow tinge, and this is a grey brown tinge. Just love it. It's really grungy and dark. That's not a cotton thread, that's actually a slub in the linen, but that'll be fine. So yeah, love that. And I hope the lamp is gone really dark now, weirdly, and wet. But yeah, so that might have to go away because I've actually got Spring Moon. And I thought about starting Spring Moon because I know Carol said about that, didn't she? Our Carol Saltbox, that that's what she would like to do, is do one, you know, for each season, start on the next one, the next moon. Right, then you know that I'm in a stitch along with my lovely friend Linda, who I went to Autumn of Abundance retreats at the Attic with in autumn 2023. I met Megan and Linda, the lovely sisters, and we were on the same table. And Linda said that she was starting this project, the Bells on Christmas Day, the sampler, which I've always said I wanted to start. So I got one of my little scissor pulls here from Chapel View Crafts in Wales. It's a little pie with sort of little bits of nuts on the top, isn't it lovely? I got millions of these. And so yeah, this is the chart. It's this one on the back, Peace on Earth by Blackbird Designs. There's a lot of other things in this book that are, I'd love to do them all. I've made this little thimble bag because it's what I keep all my little blank key, what do you call these? These are on Amazon, aren't they? You get like a bag of 200. They're for landlords to keep the keys to all the flats on, aren't they? I think that's what they call them. Key fobs. And so when they've just got blank paper, and then you could just write in what project it is. I'd be lost without these. I'd have no idea. I've got so many project bags that I wouldn't be able to find anything. and then I write the linen on the other side. So this is on 40 count, picture this plus oaken, and this is called Blackbird Designs, Bells on Christmas Day, in my fabulous, is this Acufactum, or is it the other one, Amiably True? Anyway, it's from the Stitchery, and it's a beautiful bag, and I've got this lovely thread bed to go with it as well. Gorgeous fabric. This is sort of wintry. Really nice townhouses with the little holly sprigs. Oh, fabulous linen. And Nikki stocks loads of it now. If you go on the Stitchery website, she's got so much of both brands. So I've made great progress. Now, last time I had one bird and I had the two urns, and I'd done the Smyrna crosses. I still haven't filled them in, but this time I've done the middle urn, the words, the other bird, and started on the house here. So I've started the checkerboard little house. So not bad for the 25th of the month stitch along with Linda. And I've got a lovely photo. I've asked if she'll send me like a progress shot of her holding her sampler up, and it's amazing how differently we all stitch, because of course Linda's done the border around the edge, so she's done all the way around and started with the motif at the bottom, whereas on this one I don't know why, I just started in the middle. Maybe I wasn't confident about my linen cutting, which I sometimes do that if it's a random piece and I'm a bit tight for the borders. So yeah, so this is so pretty. Look at the colours, classic blackbird, the pinks, the reds, all the greens. I mean, there are so many colours in this. It's yeah, I won't show you all the colours now because I've got a lot to share. But yeah, so I've put a photo in at the end of my progress compared to last time, and Linda's progress of her holding up her chart, which is lovely. And on Instagram, I think she's HMB Fog, and I'm sure you all know Linda and Megan, because they're prolific stitchers and are always finishing the most gorgeous projects, and they go to a lot of events at the attic, but sadly they weren't at Sampler Symposium, so I didn't get to see them in January, but I think they always go to summer school. So that's that. And then you'll remember that I had my 2 whip goes for February. I can't remember the numbers, but 2 numbers were called, and I get the option as well to have a new start as well, which I did. I'll show you in a tip. So this first one was a like an autumn stitch, and this is in my lovely Teresa Kogut bag that I made myself. I just bought some fat quarters with the girls, the witchy girls inside, and I made a little thread bed, which I do with the leftovers. Yeah, sometimes if you've only got a tiny piece of fabric left, you just have to make a little small square one. But so this was the chart I was working on by Plum Street. Sorry for the glare. Grace Doth Abound. And last time I'd done the house and I had done the wording here and one of the stars, but I'd only done the little this reindeer here and started with the green, but I hadn't filled in the berries with all these absolutely gorgeous colour oranges. So when I was on the plane, I can't believe I picked this one to take on the plane, but I think it's because it's a bigger count, because this Grace Doth Abound is actually the only project I've shown you so far on 36 count. So I thought it'd be easier to see, because sometimes if you're not sitting by the window, you know, your light isn't great, because I don't take my lamp on the plane. So I just got to use daylight. This is Fox and Rabbit Baked Clay, which is a lovely, really nice linen to work on. So on the flight, I started on the berry bowl, and wow, that is a big berry bowl. I finished it. Over the next couple of days, I did an acorn. I took this on holiday with me. I finished the little doodad here and this funny little reindeer. And I put in all of the, filled in one of the clockworks. Yeah, there's 2 different clockworks by, I think it's Weeks and Classic Colourworks. And then I did the star here the quilt star, and I filled in all these flowers and the leaves. So I did quite a lot actually. And yeah, I spent quite a few days on it. It's really coming together, isn't it? And do you know what? I really love this stitch. I think I'm going to frame it. And there were times when I wasn't sure because of the guy with the funny tights on and like a crazy Adam and Eve here. But now I just love it. It's real Paulette, sort of very folky, with one of her stunning houses with a wacky roof, like a Harlequin roof. So it is Halloweeny, autumny, but it's just got a lovely, you know, toil over the ground, yet grace doth abound. And she always puts a verse on the back, doesn't she? Genesis 1, 29 to 30. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. Wow. Okay, so that's the verse that goes with that. Toil over the ground, yet grace doth abound. So that'll be going away now. I mean, because I've made such good progress, I may pull it out when it comes to sort of like September, you know, to do a seasonal stitch. But if she's not calling to me, that won't come out now until Whitgo next year. And I'm fine with that. That's how I just love Whitgo, because it's such a surprise as to what you're going to get called next. So my other Whitgo piece, with my gorgeous Nancy 5x Blessed mushroom in my Kathy Holden homemade bag I made myself. I love Kathy Holden fabric, and the sheet music inside. Isn't it lovely? I shouldn't say that about my own things, but you know what I mean. The fabric's lovely. And this is, I just love this. However, I don't love the linen because this is Stacey Nash, Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. And it's on 40 count Weeks Dye Works tin roof, but the old Weeks. So I told you last time you can shoot peas through it. This is the chart. I think they grunged it up at the end with walnut crystals, which I don't think I'm going to do that with the white threads all around there, but we'll see. Maybe I could paint it on, perhaps. Although on tin roof, you know, it's dark enough. So this is what, this is my little scissor fob there, and the lovely, lovely threads. I think these are nearly all Gentle Arts. Now, remember, I was running really, really low on Piney Woods. And in fact, I have run out of Piney Woods. And the most lovely lady, Debbie, sent me a card. She heard me saying that because it was all out of stock at Peakside, one and everywhere I looked in the UK. And Deborah Wortman sent me this beautiful card look. And inside were 2 skeins of Piney Woods, Gentle Arts Piney Woods, to carry on and to see if it matched mine. It matches mine brilliantly. It's a sort of, if I show you, the 2 skeins she sent me, it was so kind, because unfortunately she ran out 3/4 of the way around her border, and the Piney Woods she bought, these, don't match hers at all, so she's still hunting for one to match. But they match mine brilliantly. Let me show you. So I'm so grateful to her, and it was just so kind and thoughtful. Can you see how they just match brilliantly? So there we are. I've now got 2 skeins. It was terribly generous of her to post those to me from the US. And Debbie is PrimDeb1 on Instagram. So please go and follow Debbie. She's got some lovely work. And yeah, so I was really grateful, and she helped me out there when I could still be waiting for my Piney Woods. So that was Christmas at Hollyberry Farm was my second Whitgo piece. And what I did this time was, so this was all done before, and because I didn't have Piney Woods at the time, I took this away on holiday and started on the house. So I put in the little spikes on the roof, started on the chimney, and realised it's heirloom gold, which is fine, and then got into the roof and put in some brown stitches, and it's Gentle Arts walnut, and I have to say it looks nothing like the chart, because it's hard to see, but to me the roof is dark and grungy there, whereas my walnut is a very, very pale brown. Now the black windows are in. Is that, let me just check what colour the windows. Yeah, the windows are espresso beans, so a really, really dark chocolatey brown. They look fabulous. And the house is straw bonnet. Yeah, it looks white, but it's not. It's actually like quite a cream straw bonnet, isn't it? I really had to work hard to make the stitches look as neat as I could, bearing in mind this is not on a Zweigart base, and you know, a white thread's hard enough as it is. So I've done my best. It's not perfect, but I think it does look pretty good, doesn't it? But so the big question I've got now, you know, is should I go ahead with the lighter brown walnut? I think the house could probably carry it, even though it doesn't look like the chart, because that's my walnut. It's pretty insipid, but it is the colour of a walnut. So I'm tempted to go ahead and fill it in. And if it looks really awful, I could paint on some walnut crystals, because I've got a diluted thing made up now for my embroidery, and I'm more confident with painting linen now with the walnut crystal. I wouldn't spray it because it would ruin the straw bonnet, but I could paint it on the roof if it looks too insipid. But yeah, so that's going to be my roof colour, really different to what Stacey's looked like. And then the house, the door is going to be heirloom gold, which is again a sort of ginger, the same as the chimney. So it's going to be quite bright. So maybe I just go with it, even though I do find Gentle Arts is the worst for changing dye lots over time. I don't know, my weeks just seem to, you know, match now for years ago. But Gentle Arts just, they change so much. You really need to stock up at the time you're kind of kitting up initially, otherwise you get in all sorts of trouble. So yeah, so I've made fab progress on that. Stacey Nash, Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. I love it. I really enjoyed working on that house. And again, I did that. That was one of the pieces I took away with me. So when I wasn't feeling very well one day, I could just do some fill-in on that house. And yeah. So that was my whip go. And that was all my kind of ongoing whips. Then I had a couple of new starts. Now I mentioned to you last time, how are we doing? 42, oh dear. Right. I mentioned to you last time, and I showed you, didn't I, quite a few things that potentially I'd love to start. I think they were mainly my Valentine. I'm not going to do that today because I'll try and keep it a bit shorter, and I'll show you next time my spring and Eastery charts that I'd love to start. But this was the one I wanted to start. I bought this, well, Jean at the attic, Jean Lee had put this to one side for me in 2023. So that I've been sitting on it for a while, but I bought it, look, at the attic. Be happy, humble and kind. And I just love the colour palette of the greens and blues. But remember the Core 4 linen, the R&R espresso, mine was like a really grungy, greeny brown. And look, nothing like the chart. And when I pulled the threads, I just knew it wasn't going to work. So I wasn't happy with it, so I didn't do it. This, by the way, is in my gorgeous bag by Stitch Folk. Barry did some little smaller size project bags and kindly sent me this as a gift when I bought one of her quarterly bags. And I've got my gorgeous stitcher fob from 5 Times Blessed on there. Cute, isn't it? So I keep my Stitchery Sisters herbarium, my little tiny little cross stitch. I say that they're taking a long time. And now I'm keeping my Happy, Humble and Kind by With Thy Needle and Thread in here. And I think I found a brilliant linen because, okay, it's looking a little bit more orange. When I have it on the desk, it's quite yellow. In fact, it's very like the chart. Can you see? And, oh, I love this. Look at the colours. Now, the weird thing is that when I pulled the threads, let me just show you, it really looked wrong. I thought, this can't be right. They're all greens. There's no blues, because I thought those berries in the basket were going to be like a sort of duck egg blue. But I'll show you now. This has got my gorgeous little fob from the attic. Can you see it? It says the attic. It says where samplers rule in the little tiny little glass bit over. Jean sent me that. That's very precious. Yeah, it kind of goes with the chart to me because I bought that there too. So yeah, let me try and explain. So, see, I can't remember so say it was endive, which it was. Yeah, it was Gentle Arts endive, which I put in the background with all the leaves of the berry basket. That's right, that colour. And then the berries, which I thought were going to be blue, was Mountain Mist and Otter Creek, isn't it? Which is one of my very favourite threads of all time. Brenda Gervais uses a lot. Otter Creek, which is green, and Lexington green, and Mountain Mist, which, let's be honest, I bought another one before I left and it just came in time so I could check if mine was just a weird one-off green. But no, Mountain Mist is a sort of green. But so these, because they were against the endive, it knocked it right back and they came out blue. It was the weirdest thing. So the whole thing is green, but the berries look blue because they're against endive. It just kind of blew my mind, that did. And this urn is filled solid with Lexington green, which looks grey, doesn't it? It's just such a sort of clever use of the colours. And now this gorgeous little white house is going to be in the middle of the urn. So this is just a beautiful stitch. It's hard work because it's full coverage, but it really does look pretty. And this amazing fabric is by my lovely friend down the road. Well, I've never met Marie, but I've chatted to her and she's started her business, you know, Swan Bay Fabrics. Marie from Stitches in Diamond. She's at a retreat this weekend. Is it called The Big Stitch in London? And so she'll have these fabrics for sale. And this was one of the little samples that she sent me because I ordered a fat half of a lot of the colours. And this was one of the neutrals called Pemberley. So it's the house in Pride and Prejudice, isn't it? And it's a sort of it's very neutral. The light's playing tricks on it. There was a yellowy one called Highbury Gold, which I very nearly used. And then at the last minute, I thought it was a little bit gold for this. I think it's very similar to that Highbury Gold, but I chose Pemberley, which is a little bit more of an apricot, just a fabulous neutral sampler colour. It looks very, very much like something Needle and Flax would do, to be honest. And yeah, it's sort of in between a Fragile, is it, that I've got, and Sleeping Bear, and then Thornfields, which is more cream background. It's beautiful. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you, Marie, for sending this. This is 40 count Pemberley by Swan Bay Fabrics. So they're in Cardiff and they've got an amazing website and you can compare the colours. She's got a picture showing you all the colour options side by side, so it makes it so easy to pick your linens there. So please go and have a look because they are a new business. And I think actually I saw Nicola do a review, Nicola Parkman, on one of her latest Flosstubes of Marie's fabulous linens as well. Then, because of course my market things arrived, so the minute I got home, which was Tuesday this week, I had to unpack and, you know, but I opened some post, and this is one of the things I opened in my post, my fabulous Christie Crosshatch Quilts project bags that I ordered before I went away. I managed to snag one. I think this is the Lella Boutique range because I kind of recognise those little flowers. She always has those, doesn't she? So this I thought I'd have for Valentine's stitching or anything sort of red. So I've got one of my gorgeous scissor pulls that somebody gifted me. Sorry, I can't remember now. I did at the time, but I was gifted this at Sampler Symposium in January. And this is for my new project by Stacey Nash called Rose Hill Farm Sampler and Pin Keeps. I've always loved this. This was an exclusive for the Homespun Needlework Group last year or the year before. And I think it was last year. I think it came out similar to the time we went to Stacey Nash's retreat down at Cowslip. And I just love it. I love the colours. It's not too big. It's just, I don't have a barn, so I was kind of dying to do that. And so this was released now at market, and as soon as it arrived, I made a start. I haven't got the linen for this. This was, the model was stitched. This was at Country Sampler, I think. It was an exclusive for Country Sampler. On 36 count needle bling broom grass. Now, apparently, Nikki Franklin posted last night that she's got some broom grass at the stitchery if anybody's looking for it, but I'd already made a start and I matched it as best I could. So I used linen in my stash. I had a good look at everything I had that I thought was kind of grungy and dark, and I picked this. This is Fox and Rabbit 40 count Duxbury, which I love. It's really grungy. I think it's perfect for this sort of farmyard red barn, and the colours are quite bright. I've started with the straw, now this is straw hat, not straw bonnet, which kind of, because I've been a bit obsessed with straw. I'm making it up. It wasn't. It's straw. It's just straw. So this is the colour. And it kind of disappears, but it's going to be completely filled in all around with the bright reds. So this is all weeks, classic sort of Stacey Nash threads. So you've got the baked apple, Lancaster red, and sanguine, which she uses for so many of her stitches. So yeah, these were all in my stash. I was quite fortunate enough to just be able to pull those and get working on it. And by picking this linen out of my stash as well, I could make a start on it. So it's tiny, bit of a paltry start, but I just wanted to get going on something. And I can't see where that loose thread is. I can see it on the camera, but I can't pick it up. There, gone. So that's one, yeah, I'm excited because it feels sort of spring-like. Rose Hill Farm Sampler. And I love the little pin keep that looks like that unusual shape in my fabulous bright red. Yeah, I thought that matched the sort of project really well. So thank you, Christy, for posting that so quickly to me. Then last night I had, I told you last time I was going to start a new stitch along. I mean, very loosely a stitch along. You know, we'll just put a couple of threads in here and there, and maybe chat once a month on a Zoom with me and Britta. Wanted to start this that we both ordered and hers arrived. I'd been sitting on mine for a month or two, but I had so much to go on with that suited me fine. This was in the project bag from my last quarterly stitch box from Barry, from Stitch Folk. Absolutely love this. Remember when I said about the I can't remember how I connected that to the ivy. I think it was the postcard she sent. It reminded me of the ivy, and then of course I was there with Harriet the other day. Yeah, so this is the exclusive that I got from Country Sampler a couple of months back from Cross Stitch Antiques, Kathleen Littleton. She signed it for me in January, and she gave me one of her lovely little thread drops, so I can always think of Kathleen when I work on this project. And this was kitted up with the linen that Country Sampler chose for this was 40 count needle and flax Hemingway, which I've used for quite a few projects now, and I really love it. The original called for that Kathleen used was 40 count button box medium dark by Mason Linen, which I have got, and I chatted to Britta about this last night. We took pictures, and she's going to go with the called for that Kathleen used, the button box, and I'm going to use the Hemingway, and we're both going to start in different places and see how different the project looks. So I might ask Britta for her progress photos, or just a photo of one, you know, so each month I can put in where she has got to. So the reason I chose this is because it's Julia Rachel de la Mare, 1849, and it's a Guernsey sampler, and I don't know why, but my mum went to Guernsey before she was married with her two girlfriends on a fabulous girls' holiday, and they had sling back kitten heels and those fabulous, what you call the hot pants, you know, with the little stirrup going into the, like hot pants, you know, the 3/4 cigarette trousers. And yeah, they looked so glamorous, and they had Max, and they just looked fab. So yeah, it just reminded me of my mum, and I miss her so much. So, and also you can see it's sort of a bit like a couple of other samplers I've got on the go in my whip pile. It's not too dissimilar from what's her name? Not Eugenie. Marie de Donna, Eunice. She's not that dissimilar. It's a different shape because this is square and the other one's very wide. But yeah, just reminded me of that. I just love the cartouches, the sheep, the pastoral scenes, and the flowers, you know. So had to get it. Yes, so I made a tiny start. Last night I stayed up late. That's why I'm a bit tired today. Oh, let me show you the threads, because I think these are quite unusual colours in that they're very bright. And this light green, I was really surprised at. Avocado, you know, I'm not a fan of avocado. It's used so much and it's very bright, but you know, I know from experience you've got to trust the process, and it always works. So it'll be knocked back by other colours around it. And of course, with so many cartouches, it will disappear. It might be in the border and working alongside the dark greens, which I love. So pine needles, I was working with that last night. And then you see this pink, Blushing Beauty, you know, Little House Needleworks use this a lot. It's very bright. It's very sort of, you know, Disney pink, but I just trust implicitly that it will work. And when it's sort of calmed down with a bit of Tennessee red clay around it, you know, it's going to look great. So I'm excited to start that. And I stayed up late last night. So this is on 40 count needle and flax Hemingway. And I pretty much worked up the side. So that's going to be, it's not going to be that big. There was a very generous cut of linen in with the kit from Country Sampler. There are two different greens here. You can't really tell. This is pine needles, and the one along the bottom was English Ivy, both classic colourworks. This is darker and plainer, and this is sort of got more variegation. So it does go quite bright in places, which is lovely. But quite a complicated border because there's no pattern as such. The counting's quite different. Some of these are 13 and some of them are not. So you do need to sort of have your wits about you. And it could be one that really honestly might not match up. So I thought I might take the border around the whole way to make sure that's right first. Yeah, isn't it lovely? I think it looks great on this linen. It's very mottled, but I'm all right with that. And I think with the bright colours, the really brights in here, it's going to just work. Oh my gosh, guys, we're at an hour and I'm still rambling on my my whips. Okay, we're coming to it though. So that is all my whips, because that was a brand new start last night, and I can't wait to get going on that, because I think I'm always going to have a cross stitch antiques on the go because I bought quite a few at the attic in January. And I fell in love with the Norfolk sampler that Kathleen kitted up for us and gave us when she was teaching in January. So once I get going on this, I might allow myself to start something new. Okay, then I had my 2 new numbers for Whipco for March. So they were called, and I'm super excited that one of them was this in this project bag that you'll have seen before. So this is, oh, Mildred, of course you're charming. Look at her face. Yeah, so Mildred's on the naughty seat again. And stunning, stunning bag from Barry at Stitch Folk. Blackbird fabric lining. Love it, love it, love it. Right, there's 2 Blackbird projects in here. And the one that was called was not that one. It was this very precious one. Oh, I've got a needle minder making a bit of a... Okay, let me show you. No, I need to keep that because I've forgotten what linen it's on. So these are the threads with my beautiful scissor fob that was gifted to me. Look at that, hand stitched by Sally, Humble Bumble Stitches, who's got loads of followers on Instagram, 8,000 followers, and she's teaching down at the Whitchurch Silk Mill on the 31st of October with Becky, Willow Hair, quilting, and Becky does a lot of wool work, and she teaches regularly at Whitchurch and other places. She's teaching always. She teaches at the Stitchery, I think, too. So one day I will be able to go. I can't go this year. Britta's going, and Sally's teaching there. So that's going to be great. If you're on there, you're in for a treat. These are the most beautiful colours. Look at this. So this was gifted to us, all kitted up, and provided by Alma at the Autumn of Abundance retreat. So this was the exclusive rose garden. Oh, the colours are stunning. Love it, love it. And this is called, you've seen this last year, Gifts of the Season by Blackbird Design. And this is the book that was just released now at market in the big version of the book, you know, with the full sampler. So this is like a portion of the sampler taken from the huge one, but I think this is just perfect. I think the proportions are fab. So I didn't buy the book. I'm just sticking this, and look at this. This is the one signed specially by Alma. So this is so precious to me. And this, remember, we had 2 other pieces with it. I know this one is in the new book released with the attic, which I must stitch. And of course, I will be stitching this one because my lovely friend sent me the little paperweight, and she was the model stitcher for Alma on some of the Blackbird designs. So the fabric we were provided with was 36 count. Picture this. No, it's not, is it? I can't remember the fabric now. Oh, it'll say on here, won't it? I haven't written it on my label. That's a bit naughty, isn't it? How am I going to remember what the linen was? If you need to know. It's funny because I told someone so they could kit it before the book came out. So I should know. 36 count vellum. Right, 36 count vellum, which actually is a gorgeous colour because it's not velt, so it's less green and more cream, and this was where I got to. So this now I will be pulling out this month for my Whipco and working on. So I've made a lovely start, and it's all like duck egg blues and the rose garden creams. Little bit different colours, isn't it, for Blackbird? Brighter. Really pretty, like the birds of pink and grey. I love it. And the linen is beautiful. And that's about right. It's a cream with no green, just little bits of beige mottling. And it's Picture This Plus, so it's really easy to work on, and it's sort of quite sturdy, so the stitches always look immaculate on there. And then my other Whitgo piece, which, well, this is why I love Whitgo. I don't know why, but I've got a mental problem with this project because of the fabric I'm using. I don't really love it. And I should have switched because I think I had very similar to the called for, but I didn't. I persisted and sort of kept going because I hate restarting things. And it's just such a waste of time. So I'm going to persevere. And when I pulled this out, I couldn't believe how much I've done on it. I've done a fair bit. I mean, not loads, but I thought I'd literally only just started it, and I've done more than that. So this project in my lovely bag that I made with Teresa Kogut fabric is a chart by Teresa Kogut called Let Love Rain. Now, I love the chart, and when you look at it, the linen I chose, which I had in my stash at the time, is a dead ringer for that. Sort of like a flaxy looking bitty linen, you know? The called for... Oh, I'm not going. Oh, it's a book, isn't it? There's loads of charts in here. Bear with. Let Love Rain. Right. It was stitched on XJU design. Now, I have bought linen from her in the past, but I did get stuffed at customs. I had to pay the same price again to get it through customs from Hungary. Was it Hungary or Ukraine? And it calls for Grandma's slip. Now, I've got Grandpa's sleeve. And, you know, I wish now I'd used it because I saw Christy Crosshatch Quilts using... I think she used the call for, or she might have used Grandpa's sleeve instead of Grandma's slip. And I made a little thread bed with the matching leftovers. And the lining, just let me show you quick. The lining is that gorgeous Teresa heart in hand, time to stitch. Isn't it cute? Yeah, I just bought a couple of fat quarters. I don't know where I got that now. So I started this project ages ago and I'm making heavy work of it. But I have got some good progress, and, you know, the border all seems to match up nicely for the top half. So I love the colours. I'm using everything called for. And to be fair, the linen is an absolute match for what's on the cover. So I kind of understand why I went with it. And it is pretty. Look at it. All the blues and browns. It's really lovely. But when I see how Tara Sully Stitches she just raced through this and had the most gorgeous finish, and Christy is making great progress, and I'm struggling because this linen, you know, it's very, very, it almost hurts your fingers to stitch on. But I'm going to keep going on it because I've done too much now. So there we are, lesson learned, isn't it? I've stitched something else on this. I stitched my JBW antique rooster sampler, and that was 40 count flax, and that hurt my fingers, and the needle nearly punched a hole in my finger. But because it was a small piece and the stitches look so neat on it, that's the other thing, is the stitches look amazing on it, but I'm just not enjoying it. So anyway, I will put some stitches in. And the other one then, just some other plans apart from my Whitgo, is I did have this from Market, Plum Street Rejoice. I thought that was quite a nice Easter stitch. And I've got the linen for this. So this is on 40 count, fibre on a whim, affogato. So mine is quite dark. It's got a crease in it as well. But if I show you the affogato, it's, well, all fibre on a whims. I think they're all the same colour, aren't they? I've got, there's 4 and they're all sort of like brown with green on them. Espresso, affogato, parchment, and cafe au lait. They're all the same. Only milk and honey and sugar and cream are pale creamer ones, aren't they? I'm not sure how consistent the colours are, but anyway, I've got it. I'm not going to waste it. I've cut it down now. So that's a plan. And I've got this in just one of my, you've seen these. I made a number of these beautiful sort of French toile fabric. And yeah, so that's a plan. And then one other plan was, actually two other plans. One was this one. I'll show you the bag first. It's a little bag I made with Brenda Riddle Dover. I just love that fabric line. And I put the vinyl on the front. And this is housing my Jelly Bean Jubilee book by Brenda. And I finished 5, but I really want to finish the other 2 because I haven't done these 2 on the back. So I just love anything sitting in a cup like that. I think it's going to say Jelly Bean. And I just love that, you know, love me a latte at Valentine's. That's my favourite one. So I do want to finish those. I've done 5 of the 7. I've got the fabric ready to go. With my little cute little needle minder with a chick. And I can't even remember the fabric. Is it? Well, it would be the called for, that's for sure. So let's have a look. It's Brenda's Brew, 40 count Brenda's Brew, and all these really wacky colour DMCs. It's just so much fun stitching on those. And 40 count Brenda's Brew is just lovely linen. So that's another plan that I really would like to get to in the next couple of weeks before Easter, because I think hopefully I can at least get one more done this year, because I went mad on them last year and did what did I say, 5 out of the 7. So let me, I don't know, put those threads back. Oh look, it's all falling apart now. My scarf's fallen off. Oh, Tara was cracking up last time because she said I was trying to do it this way and it wasn't working. And when I went to download the YouTube tutorial on how to do the tiny tassels, which was a right pain, it took me hours, but actually it looks so good. I don't mind now. That's when I realised you put it on like a sort of neckerchief, like a cowboy would wear it. And Tara was cracking up because she said I kept trying and it was a total fail. It just kept falling off. Anyway, that is all my whips, all my whip goes, and all my plans that I've got to do in the next 3 weeks before I come back and share with you on my cross stitch. Now I'm going to quickly share with you my embroidery. Now, there's not much to show here. For the first time ever since I've been doing Flosstube, I have not managed to do my homework because the kit hadn't arrived before I went to Galley Bay. I got back Tuesday, and honestly, you know, I've had so much to do, and I've had to sort of look after my dad a bit and take him out because I've missed him. You know, I haven't seen him for 18 days. We had no food in the house and I had to do all the laundry. So it's a bunch of excuses, guys, but I didn't get to finish Herbarium Specimen 2, which was the Sweet Briar Rose. So this is Rosa rubiginosa, Sweet Briar Rose. And these are the fabulous threads it came with. All DMC, I mean, you can't beat them. The most stunning rose pinks and grey greens, and a couple of golds there to do the little centre, because you know, with these briar roses, they have actually got quite a lot of like quite bright gold stamens in the middle. So let me show you how far I got. I did have a go. I tell you, 2 mornings I came down and my 1 thread a day was getting in the bottom layer for the satin stitch on the buds and the long and short stitch on the main one here. So there's a lovely tutorial. I actually hate long and short stitch. I much rather satin stitch. So I didn't even iron this because I haven't got anywhere. But what I love about this is the colour of the linen if you notice, it won't need to be walnut crystal, this one. It's just going to stay perfect like this. Nikki managed to source enough of it so we all get this grungy colour. And then the little label, I'll bond to web on here afterwards. So when I come back next month, hopefully I'll have two cross stitches, two embroideries to show, because next week, I think the new one will arrive for March, and that's going to be, I think she said thyme, the herb. So, oh, and then I started, because you know, and this is a lot of work, the Stitchery Sisters are doing a label to put on the opposite side of the embroidery in cross stitch. And I'm stitching this on the leftovers from my Cozy Egg 15 Friends, which is 46 count, needle and flax, Thornfield. And it's much harder to stitch this because I'm using Weeks Dye Works overdyed threads. So, you know, it's a lot thicker to pull through than the 103 silks. However, it's absolutely fine. And I put in everything I could, but I didn't have the colour for the words, which was Stepping Stone. So I stitched this while I was away until it arrived an hour before the workmen left. And I thought, oh, right, well, if I can't film, I'll start putting the letters in. I just swore from the PDF that they were blue, but actually Stepping Stone is this, is sort of like a purple. It's like a purple brown. So it's going to be really pretty. And these little roses on the corner, I actually love these. I think when they're done and we're going to sort of just turn them over and hem stitch them, they're going to be really effective. But it is a lot of work. It takes, you know, I thought these would just be a day or two. No, they're taking me longer. So it's going to be 3 or 4 days by the time I do all the words in there. And it says something about William Shakespeare from Romeo and Juliet, you know, as sweet as a rose by any other name, something like that. So that's my embroidery bit for Herbarium, which is available through Nikki Franklin at the Stitchery. And I haven't really got time to show you too much, but seeing as I've opened them, I thought I would show you what I could find from my little Language of Flowers book about the briar rose. So the sweet, now you know rose in general is love. I was just driving over one of my project bags, but sweet briar, wow, good job it's not a yellow one we're doing, because sweet briar yellow one is decrease of love. I'll put a photo of this page in at the end so you can see. But the other sweet briars are European, which means I wound to heal, or American, which means simplicity, which is rather sweet, isn't it? So yeah, it's very pretty. So that's what it says about the briar rose. And then it also has and I've lost the page now because I took the book out. I might have to, it was in June, wasn't it, for sure? Yeah, I've lost the page for that. Sorry, I did look it up before. Then the other book that I thought I'd share with you is the Briar Rose. Is actually on the very front page of the Country Diary from an Edwardian Lady. And when I looked it up, inside is this rather lovely picture. So I'll put a photo in the end so you can read the little poems. But isn't that pretty? So that's what the stitch will look like. So even though these books are both, all of them actually are under June, Nikki says in the stitch that actually the rose for Valentine's is just, because it's the symbol of love, it's just a lovely thing to have in February to sort of symbolise Valentine's. So that's why she put it in the February. And then this little thing says, all twinkling with the dewdrop's sheen, the briar rose falls in streamers green, by Scott. And I just thought that's such a beautiful picture that happens to be on the front page of this gorgeous book. So I thought, yeah, that was only a minute, wasn't it? Not too long. So I share that with you. Then where are we going? One more piece of embroidery. I have been off and on before I went away. I was pretty good in trying to catch up with the winter stitch along with the Stitchery. So this was a weekly class with Nikki, and there was a video tutorial at the Stitchery's it's just been so much fun to listen to her. And so this time I filled in the quilts. I did a little Laurie Holt inspired Christmas tree patchwork quilt there, and just a little red and white with the sort of, I tried to simulate some little triangles on that quilt. And then the socks, I put some little pom-poms and stripes and a toe and heel on the other. And then we did some bulbs and some snowdrops, but I didn't get to finish. So I've yet to work my way across and do the rest of the bulbs. Yeah, I've got to do the green bits on the top. And then I'm way behind because I think there was another week on the houses, a week on the birds, which are just going to be lovely sort of black thread, I think. And then at the top, there's going to be a murmur of, I think it's sparrows, is it, that go in a murmur? I don't know. Anyway, it was so fun, but I'm probably going to have to put that away for now because I'm not feeling winter stitch along at this stage. It'll have to go away for next year. What else? So that was my embroidery. And then I've got some quilting. So before I went away, I did manage to do my summer house homework, which was this block here, block 8, which had a lovely pieced kind of wheel, pinwheel on the bottom, which I love piecing. So I was really excited to do this one, and I'll just grab it. I forgot to take a photograph of this to put in at the end, so I do apologise. It'll just be the kit this time. So that's the flower, and again, I've explained in the past that I use the spray starch method, which is, look at the beautiful points you can get with that. And you can turn all these fine leafy shapes and even do this. It just makes it so easy, easier than using a bias tape maker, I must say. And the pinwheel at the bottom. So it's all beautifully matched up. I'm really happy with that. And that is now block 8. So that means I've been working on this for 8 months. And I think it goes to block 11, and then you've got the really complicated shaped kind of like bow border. So that's going to be quite a few months to do the borders. So that's okay. It's not a race, is it? And I'm really, really enjoying it. So this is by Bunny Hill Design. And this was, I bought it at the sewing studio, and they gave me 10% off if I shared this on my Flosstube, which I'm more than happy to do because I'm really loving it. And I think Bunny Hill is, you've got to have one quilt at some time by them because they're quite unique and different if you like a plique. And then my other quilt that I'm doing the quilt along with the Fat Quarter Shop is from this book that I've had for years, Vintage Christmas by Laurie Holt. This was the original colourway, and it was really difficult to track those fabrics down. So I'd started to collect them, but then fortunately this year, Laurie recoloured it with one of her new ranges. So this range is the Vintage Christmas Sampler featuring the Hometown Holiday range. So I bought the kit from Fat Quarter Shop, and I think I've got the backing fabric as well. And this is how the plan looks. So I've done the 4 blocks I showed you last time with the Away in a Manger, etc. for January. And now I've done the 4 blocks for February. So this is the Christmas star block. And I was so pleased with how these turned out. That's the Christmas star block. This is the City Sidewalk block with a little bit of fussy cutting to get baby Jesus in the manger right in the middle like that. Isn't it cute? The fabrics are just gorgeous. Then this one is an absolute triumph. This is the Dolly block, and look how the piece, I mean, we're talking 1/2-inch pieces, tiny, 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 and everything's matched up. It's a pure fluke that matched. And there's another fluke on here, but it just looks amazing. And I couldn't be more proud, actually. I don't think I've ever made a block as fiddly as that. And I really love piecing with tiny pieces like this. It wasn't as hard as the candles last time. The Christmas candles were a killer, but it was still very, very bitty. And next month there's another one, which I think is the gingerbread houses, which is going to be really hard. And the last block was the cozy star block. Really pretty with all these bright sort of beautiful Christmas, and the little church, look, coming through there. Oh, I just love working on this. So my 4 for February are absolutely trimmed up to exactly 6.5 inches. I couldn't be happier. And so next month we've got the Kimberly drops on YouTube, like a reel, is it? Or a short or a story or something, and shows you quickly what her 4 blocks for March look like. So you use the book for the blocks, but you get to see what the fabrics that you should be cutting are from what Kimberly's cut on the reel. That's how you have to do it. So I need to, I need to do that. So that's my quilting, and you know what my plans are for March. Then I'm going to talk to you about some stitchy kindness. Now, this was unbelievable. A lovely lady called Poole Designs, and Poole has got an E on the end, offered to send me one of her journals. And I've been following her for a while, and she just immediately sells out. She's got the most fabulous YouTube where she does a flip through of her journals. And she's also got an Etsy shop where she sells the kits to do your own kind of junk journaling. And she's also got an Instagram. And if you follow her, she shows what's going up for sale in her shop. She sells all the kits to do it, and quite often these full made journals, all different themes. So this is an angel journal that I was obsessed with and asked her, please, can I go on the waiting list for one of these? Some of the other ones that I watched her flip through were the Beatrix Potter ones. So she's got one called the Taylor of Gloucester theme. Oh, all the ephemera and the papers I've got Taylor of Gloucester and Beatrix, and a lot of French journaling as well. And then this one called the Farmhouse Journal, which was just stunning. But these neutral colours, I just love. I mean, the ribbons alone are all beautifully dyed. And so let me just try and give you an idea. Everything is sort of triple layered. It's just got all these old French papers. Every page has got something fascinating. How will you know you can fly if you never spread your wings? Little old pieces of artwork that just fit in a little pocket that she's made. Old vintage photos, everything, a little book you can keep notes, a bookmark, everything has a little pocket, and the pages are old French pieces of paper, and it's just beyond fascinating what's in here. Nothing straightforward. The butterfly's an extra, the whole thing's got its own pocket. All these little French labels. So I'm going to be adding to this very precious, maybe a few strips of my vintage buttons from Paris, I could put into these folders. I mean, it's delicate, and yet it's quite robust, because look at these old sort of papers that are all glued down with old dictionaries and sheet music and photographs. Oh, please go and have a look at her work. I noticed that Holt, who is a big journaler, I know she journals with her granddaughter, and they make beautiful books, but Laurie follows her. And I mean, look, all the detailing on these lists, the French lists with prices and dates. I mean, it's just hours and hours of work's gone into this, and I don't want to put things in back to front. And then there's the back of the list, and then there's a blank page. You could keep some really precious notes, little just little tags, more lists, all in French, what Madame's bought, what she's cooking with, what she's ordering for the restaurant. Little tiny old vintage photographs. Oh, please go and follow her. Go and follow her on Instagram. And so here we've got more. And what was lovely about this was, and you could subscribe on YouTube and see how she walks through her journal, so you know which ones you'd like when they come up for sale in the future. The angel theme, I just love it. All the different wings. So there's butterflies in here, and there's also quite a lot about flowers and a fair bit about roses as well, which I thought was really sweet because that kind of matches in with Nikki's theme. Photographs, pages about roses. And there's so many pages in here. There's another little pocket there with some rose pictures, tiny mini paper clip, and a little pin here that you can clip in what you would like. Isn't that precious? She's super, super talented. And then these, and if, you could have a go at these yourself, couldn't you? By collecting ephemera or pulling out things that are precious to you, and then maybe ordering the junk journal kits, so you've got some of the papers. And obviously it's all been machine stitched with cottons around the edge. So even this little piece alone with the sheet music at the back is like 4 or 5 layers on top of a little French menu. Oh, it's just so precious. And letters in French, butterflies, a little page pinned in about roses. Actually, that's a hollyhock. And then at the back, another angel. She's sort of pinned that in. And it does go on and on, filled with treasures, and the odd blank page for you tracking your treasures. Just incredible. Incredible. And a little story actually at the end. That's French, but this one was, oh yeah, look, and this little ticket bulleted in, and it has a little story from a book. Oh, I know where that was. That was in, she gave me a little bundle extra of things that I can put where I like. So there's a little butterfly and the journal ticket. So I can space those around the book where I like. And this cute little story in the back, which I read. I think it might be from Dickens. I think is it The Bells on Christmas Day or The Bells? Yes, so it's absolutely beautiful. I couldn't be more delighted with it. And please go and show us some love, because I think things for the journaling community are quite difficult at the moment. So scrapbooking and journaling in general. So please go, sorry, I moved the camera. Please go and show us some love. Then I had some other happy mail. You'll notice that I didn't show you my book of days because I was waiting to share what's happened to my book of days. It's hidden in this rather fabulous book to store your book of days with blackbird fabric. Isn't it beautiful? Got these gorgeous strawberry buttons at the top, and it's got a piece of elastic in the middle that holds the book in place. So now my book of days has got a really posh cover to it. I'm pretty sure that I've seen one of these before, because this was sent to me by a lovely lady, a new friend called Lisa, Prims on Greenway. I'm sure many of you follow her. She's got a Flosstube. She's big on Instagram, and she makes the most gorgeous prim things. And I'm sure that Hillside Rookery, it's not Emily. Oh, you know who I mean, don't you? She's got a shop and she does the unboxings. Is it Emily? Hillside Rookery. I'm pretty sure she's got one from Lisa Primson Greenway. And Lisa's going to Kentucky, where I'm going in September to an event at Walton's Creek with Nikki from the Stitchery. So I can't wait to meet her in person. But she's a friend of Barry's as well. And she has been dropping me a line to say that she's watched my Flosstubes, and how kind. She sent it to me with this fabulous Mrs. Campbell card from Hands Across the Sea, with the sweetest fun note. And also she sent me these beautiful little puntini pins with the seashells on. Aren't they fab? So they'd be great to put in my little needle books. And also something that she makes, and I think she sells these, a handmade primitive banner. So I'm gonna have to get creative and pull this out and make myself a banner that I could put up in the summer house. Isn't that fabulous? How kind and thoughtful. Thank you. So that was wonderful happy mail to come back to after my holiday when I got home. And then I also couldn't believe it, after my last Flosstube, I told you I had the finishing kit for Erica Michael's Little Flock, but I couldn't track the chart down, and it's completely sold out in Create Nostalgia, that usually stocks all of Erica Michael's. It wasn't on Erica Michael's site. And this wonderful lady, Cheryl Hannah from America, said, I found it for you, Sian, and I'm posting it to you. And so many other people sent me notes saying, Sian, it's here, it's there. So thank you so much, because now I've actually got this. I've started kitting up the threads that I didn't have. And one of them, would you believe, was Wickstein Works Periwinkle, that gorgeous bright purpley blue that I didn't have and have never used before. So that's going to be in there. And this is based on Matthew, I think. Luke 12, Little Flock. And the gauze is in there, the silk gauze. So I'm going to have to get going. I tell you what, it's going to take years to finish it, because it looks even more full coverage than my honeybee. So I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you, Cheryl. It was very, very sweet of you. And I've sent you a card in the post to thank you. So that was my happy mail. And now I'm going to quickly go on to Haul, I think is next. Yeah, Haul. So I've got some market. Oh, first of all, before I go to market, let me show you. I'm in my quarterly linen club with Wiggly, West Green Loft Yarn, Dye Studios. So this month I had a yellowish gold fabric that would have been perfect for Be Humble, Happy and Kind. And it's actually got a name this time, called Cassandra. So that's the linen. Compared to the other two, January's was a sort of neutral pale biscuit, and then a blue-grey in February, and this beautiful, so it's sort of like Eastery colours in a way. It's a bit pinky, blue and yellow. Gorgeous linen colours. So I've yet to start using these, but at the moment I just like collecting them, to be honest, and seeing how the colours go. So maybe I'll do that for a year. I've got so many other linens I could work with. Then my Acufactum Club fabric arrived, and you get four fat quarters every month from the Stitchery. This is also from Willow Cottage Quilt in Canada. If you want to get hold of them in America, you would go to Willow Cottage, and these fabrics are delightful. They're just so pretty. These little characters, and the houses and the lollipop trees, aren't they pretty? And then you always get one blender, that's the word, which this time is like a sort of pastel pink sort of grunge. And then the bottom one is just lovely. Look at that, all the flowers and the little people with hearts. So really pretty for this time of the year. Easter, Valentine's. I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but there'll always be projects on Willow Cottage showing you what you can do each month. So if only I had time, I would actually be making something with them. Then another little thing I bought, bearing in mind Harriet is going to be getting married next year, I thought, oh, I'd love to make her an embroidered pillow to keep. And so I went on the Stitchery, and this is one of the white works. Everything is white. Isn't it beautiful? I think this is one she taught in maybe Canada or the US last year, and now it's available to buy as a kit. So it's called the White Garden Embroidery Kit. So that's something heaven knows when I will get working on. And because they were out away, I also got I've lost a little ticket there was a free little sample of the linen that if you placed an order worth a certain value, you got that. And it did have a little ticket with it saying, "You are loved." That'll show up somewhere, typed out, you know, so you could type it on the bottom. Then a little bit of haul that I got before market. I got my first order from Talking Dog Stitchery from Rachel. And she sent a cute little thank you. And I ordered quite a few. I had a notification that these had all come into stock, so that's why I got these. I bought these pins. So the mini pins, this one I bought, I think it's a Spring Farm. And the carrots for Easter, I thought might be nice in a needlebook. And then the Spring Sock box was in stock. And I think I got another strawberries. And then one of the other ones I got from her was, and this is the one I was notified about, was the Christmas puntini. I just love those. They're great on all your little Christmas finishes. So I bought those pins, and I'm pretty sure I got those from her as well. So I mainly got pins from her. And I managed to use the link from Sherry's, just so Sherry's using her discount code. So I don't know if that's still available or whether I managed to get in. And this is the little booklet I bought from her. It's so cute, by Blackbird, and this has been out of stock for so long everywhere, and it came back in. 'Tis Halloween, so I think it's got 13 little projects, little stockings. So I can't wait to get going on some of those this autumn. I just love that book, so I'm happy I got that. And one thing I couldn't resist, I've always liked that. I think it's Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher that's got this on her opening clip. And I just would love to finish it with some fabric like that. I've never really done that type of a finish. So that was that. Then I had a notification from 123 Stitch that after 5 years, a piece of Lakeside linen that I ordered has come into stock. And this was 40 count. It's just a small piece. It's a fat eighth, I think, 18 by 13, maple sugar. So this is the one that's sort of got a bit of a purpley. I have got a project that I need it for, but I can't remember now off the top of my head. So it's that sort of beautiful fabric, a bit like Vintage Meadow, but less orange and more pinky purple mottling. Lovely, lovely linen. So I'm happy I got that. And I keep all my buttons and pins on a thing, you know. Then I placed an order from, I said I wasn't going to do this, Kohana. I only did it because of the colour. I just could not help this. This is their brand new spring. I haven't even taken them out. With a pale pink. And look at they're just fabulous. Look at the colour. And I use them every day. I've got, these are right here. They'll have to go away now, won't they? Because they got a snowflake. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And these are my everyday pair. I've used them so much that the gold tassel came off long ago, but they're as sharp as the day I had them. And oh man, I have got a darker pink as well in my stitchy box with Maggie May. But these are I just love Kohanas. And I couldn't resist the baby pink leather pouch. So they just outdo themselves. And I've got quite a collection coming together now, but you know, I think I had orange ones last time, didn't I? That when I saw Brendan, because his favourite colour's orange. Oh, that's right. That was the spring blossom, wasn't it? Based on the plum or something. The plum blossom or the pear blossom. I've forgotten the word for it now. I did say it, didn't I, last time? Anyway, so those are rather gorgeous and I don't begrudge a penny. I got them direct from Kohana's and yeah, they come shipped direct, no customs, in about 2 weeks. So they were waiting for me after my holiday. And then I just will show you what I bought from Peakside when I got back. Oh, my little gorgeous Stacey Nash. I need all the crackers, all the animal crackers, a mini 3-inch ruler. Isn't that fab? And quite useful actually for counting in your 2-inch border. Then I can never resist these. First thing I asked Sue is, did she manage to get any kitted shepherd's bush? Because these scissor fobs, I've got quite a few in my stash. Have I ever made one? No. Should I have bought them? No. But I can't resist them because I just love a kit and they come kitted. And last year I made the little bag kit. This year, this is Blessings Grow. And I also got the garden needle case. I think Shepherd's Bush had 4 things kitted that you could have bought from market this year. And so I picked 2 and I just love a needle book like that. So garden needle case. So I'm not sure because I didn't make my needle case from last year, but then I got this, which I thought would be a quick stitch. And I've forgotten to bring the velvet, the rhubarb, but Sue managed to bring the velvet home with her as well. So I got the rhubarb velvet from her, and this is the velvet pink pear. I just thought it was so cute, and I've ordered the threads to go with that. I don't have needle and flax brayer, but I do have a perfect linen that's got that pinky tinge to it. So I'll be using something else. I think it's a needle bling one. Or is it Desert Taipan? Has got a pink tinge, Fox and Rabbit. So that was one of the Stacey Nash things. Then I had to get Harriet, didn't I? With the crazy shoulder pads. And she's a British series animal cracker. And then, of course, I got Lily. She arrived this morning. She's beautiful, isn't she? Holding her little drum. So that's a fun thing. Then I couldn't resist. I've only got one crumb. I think I've got Oliver, and this is the other crumb. And the reason I bought him was for his hat. Yeah, there's his hat. Isn't he gorgeous? So I love him, love him. And again, now I know what broom grass looks like. I haven't got it. It's very, very dark. I could use Duxbury for that. Then I've been dying to get my hands on this one. Ever since Jessica Sweetwater stitched this. Tomato Hill. I've got the linen, but I think it looks wrong. Again, it's a fibre on a whim. This is Cafe Au Lait. It looks nothing like. So I think I might switch out and go for a lighter. I think I might just use a scrap of something cream. I think I've got creme brulee, which is looking very good for that. You need something so the white will show, but it doesn't need to be as greeny brown as that. But I did just order that linen, so that was a new linen. What else? I showed you Rejoice by Plum Street. Then I got this because I've got all the others, and I've made the spring and the summer ABCs, which I love, and I put them on a board. And this is the new one called Farmers Market ABCs. I just couldn't resist it. I think it's so cute. So that'll be a really fun one to do. And that's just on vintage country mockers, so easy to do. Then I couldn't resist this one. I think this was the most popular one on, somebody did a vote, and this was the most popular chart apparently ordered. So this is the nativity. It comes with the little embellishments, the little star buttons. Oh, showed the chart, sorry. And it's going to be on a grey. I don't have Boston by Seraphim, but I've got lots of greys that I think would work. I was only sorry I didn't buy the frill to go with it, which has got the 3 wise men, because I could have added them on the end. Then I bought this one by Running with Needles and Scissors, because I don't have any of her charts, and I thought this was just absolutely beautiful. I couldn't get the Flamingo Gloriana silks, but you know, there's plenty of time, isn't there? I've got so much to go on with. And I think all these smalls were on a separate chart, so you could buy that separately if you wanted, but I bought the sampler. So that looks fun. Then this was always at the attic by the till, sold out, and failed to get it, but it came back in stock at Peakside, so I picked this one up. So this is by Samplers and Primitives, and it's called the Rose Band Sampler. I just love roses, as you know. So I picked that up. I also picked up this one, which was in stock, not from market, Heart in Hand, for a birth sampler, moon and back, and you put the babies, this is in stock at Peakside. It comes with the 4 little wooden buttons. You don't have to use 32 count. I think the buttons would work on a 40 count just as well, to be honest, because they're not too big. And there's the buttons, and you put the baby's date of birth and initials or date name at the bottom. So that's really, really sweet. And it's just on khaki Belfast, but I think you could use anything. One other market release I couldn't resist. This was my first choice, was Coco's Garden, because I just thought the way Teresa finished that was just adorable, and I would love to stitch it. And I think that's on Brayer. No, yes it is. That's on Brayer as well. Well, I wish I could get some Brayer now, but anyway, that's okay. Then I got the Blackbird design. I had to get this book because I already had the other one, Gifts of the Season, but I had to get this because it's based on a Welsh chart. So there are 2 little bird pillows, and this is what I love, the needle roll. Yeah. And oh wow, if I could follow the instructions, look how pretty that is. All the different fabrics to make up the pockets inside. And Alba's instructions are brilliant, so I'll be happy to have a go at that. Oh, the smell of the new Blackbird books is unreal. Then I got the Stitcher's Journal. I just thought, this is very much the same as the Book of Days, but smaller. The notes, so the diary part is much smaller, and then you have a piece of the picture from the overall chart, little pieces here and there to stitch if you wanted to. But this, I just thought it was different. I wanted to see what it was like, and maybe next year I could use this, but to be honest, I love my Book of Days and I like sticking so many things in it. So that was the Stitcher's Journal from Stacey. So I need to think of something that I can record in there. So that was all of my haul. It's a lot, but I don't think it was too bad. Then I've got the winner of the giveaway for my 10,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for all your wonderful comments, for entering, for liking, for subscribing. Honestly, I really do appreciate it. I mean, it does blow me away. And I drew just before I started the video, and the winner was Isabel Duff 743. So Isabel, I took a photo of the random comment generator and I'll put a picture in at the end. Please contact me at periwinklestitcher@gmail.com, and I will start working on the little beaded needle book. I'll put a picture of what it should look like at the end, and you can tell me whether you would prefer to have the turquoise beads or the sort of goldy, bronzy beads on yours, and I will make that up. You'll have to bear with me, but I promise I will post that to you at some point. And I thought this time we would have a little giveaway, just because I've been took a long time in coming back. And I did buy this spare chart because this is one of my all-time favourite stitches. And I bought a spare one when I was at the attic in January. Have Ye Any Wool has to be my favourite chart name of all time, by, of course, the infamous Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And this was my little finish of it. I think it's on Weeks Beige. And I just love this. The sheep, the shears, the funky guy in his pinstripe trousers and the little basket of fleecy wool, and this beautiful fabric on the back that came in one of my Shepherd's Bush kits and was a leftover. I think it's by Primitive Gatherings. It's just beautiful. And that's one of my favourite finishes. It stays there all year long. So I thought you might like to win that. If you would like to, please don't use any of those words like giveaway. Just use the word wool in your comments, and I'll draw again in the middle of April. It'll be Easter, won't it? Maybe I'll try and come back before Easter, actually. So, and I'll post that anywhere. So that's the giveaway for next time. And then the only other thing I've got to show you is my what's happening around in my home at the moment. Well, I've pulled out my Easter bowls. So I showed you the chart earlier. This is Jelly Bean Jubilee on 40 count, R&R, Winter's Brew for the Brenda Gervais 7 pieces, and I've done 5 of them. So the colours are just, oh, I've got some lovely wooden eggs in there as well. And the colours are, wow, bright DMC fuchsia pinks, yellow, limey greens, and the turquoise. And I backed them all with this rather cute tilde that I thought just looked really springy and nice for Easter. Yeah, the fabric, look at the fabric. And I've done all the finishing like Brenda did. So if she's got rickrack, I've got rickrack. And I love this one because she's got a carrot balloon on a stick and the bright turquoise Easter and the little chick. Oh, look at the chicks in the nest with the long stitch and the whiskers. Oh, Brenda's so talented. As Carol says, you know, there's no one that does smalls better than this. And look at him with the little crochet thing pulling the wagon of carrots, and she's got bunny ears on for Easter, even though she's a chick. It just cracks me up. Just gorgeous, so like mad. This was called the Painter, I think, and he's got his painting stick with his paintbrush and paint pot, and he's painted the Easter egg, look, with these luminescent pinks and purples. But look at his little trousers. Oh, he's so sweet, and his whiskers. And then this was the 5th one, again pulling a cart with a berry basket, and she's got bunny ears on because it's Easter. I mean, what's not to love? And this gorgeous fabric. So hopefully I've got some fabric left, and I'm ready to go and finish the last 2. And I have this in my longer dough bowl out up in the house at the minute. And the other finish I've got for Easter, I don't have many, I've only got these 2 little dough bowls, but I've got loads for spring, which I'll share again with you next time. I think I showed those on my very first Flosstube, so I thought I'll do Easter this time because you haven't seen these. I've just got some little felt balls from Cloudcraft, and these are in my little dough bowl. These are the Shepherd's Bush Easter trifles, and I filled these with walnut shells, so they're lovely and floppy. The kit, I must have bought the kit because it's got the most exquisite fabrics, a turquoise polka dot, all the ribbons, all the Mill Hill size 8 bigger chunkier beads, and the buttons. And look, there's a sheep with a swirl, a rabbit, a sheep with a heart, a chick, and a sheep with a flower with a purple flower and green leaves. The detail, Easter parade, the detail, they're amazing. This one has got like little Easter spots on the back with the picking up the mauve. I think she called this one a cornucopia basket, just full of little flowers, and then the 2 egg buttons. So sweet. This is a sort of yellow linen. I'm losing the light badly now. This was on a really mottled, beautiful turquoise linen, and this is on a mauve linen, and this is backed with, again, with that sort of Easter spot on the back. And this one has got a rabbit, and it's called Egg Hunt, and there's some eggs and egg flowers and a little rabbit running through the, isn't it? They're just so sweet. And this one's got, all the ribbons are different. All the ribbons have been hand dyed. They're all different colours. This is a pinky, that's a purple, this is a blue. And I just love Shepherd's Bush. I think they're so talented and absolutely adorable. So that's in my downstairs loo. So all my guests get to see that. And anyway, we'll leave it there. Again, oh, I'm just under the 2 hours. Thank you so much. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all looking after yourselves and enjoying the spring weather that's arrived, even in Wales. I can't believe it. And I will see you in a couple of weeks' time, because I'll be back quicker than normal. I hope to see you before Easter. In the meantime, take care and happy stitching.